Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about something we do, about 20,000 times a day, but that most of us are, getting wrong. I'm talking about breathing. And yeah, it's very possible we've been getting it wrong our entire lives.
Think about it. We get endless advice on what to eat, how to exercise, how to sleep, but has anyone ever really taught you how to breathe? It's kind of crazy, right? But correcting this one simple thing, this one act, could have a massive, massive impact on your energy, your focus, and just your overall health.
So let's just dive right in. Get this, a staggering 99% of people in the modern world breathe improperly. And no, that is not a typo. The vast, vast majority of us are using our own respiratory system in a way it was never, ever designed for. And the reason why is actually a fascinating story about how we just don't fit into our own world anymore. Here's the core idea, the big aha moment. Our bodies, our entire biology, were perfectly fine-tuned over millennia for a world of deficit, a world where food was tough to find and even tougher to chew, and life was just plain hard. But today, we live in a world of almost total abundance and comfort, and this has created a fundamental conflict between our ancient bodies and our modern lives. And really, this mismatch is at the very root of the problem. So let's break down exactly how modern life did this to us, starting with something you might not expect: how the food we eat has literally changed the shape of our faces. So the turning point, you can trace it back about 300 years ago, right around the Industrial Revolution. All of a sudden, we started mass-producing food that was soft, processed, and super easy to eat. I mean, in short, we basically engineered the need to chew right out of our diet. And here's the direct consequence of that. Our ancestors spent hours, literally hours a day, chewing tough, fibrous foods. And all that work built wide, powerful, massive jaws. But without that constant stimulus, our jaws have become weaker, narrower, and more recessed. And here's the domino effect. Our airways have shrunk right along with them, making it physically harder to get enough air in through our noses. Now, on top of the food problem, there's a second major issue. We just stopped moving. Our ancestors were constantly on their feet, walking for hours every single day. We spend most of our time sitting, and that posture, especially when you're slouching over a desk or a phone, physically compresses your diaphragm. That's your main breathing muscle, so your body is forced into this pattern of shallow, really inefficient chest breathing. So you've got smaller airways and a diaphragm that can't move properly. What does your body do? It looks for a shortcut to get air in, and that shortcut is your mouth. But here's the thing. Our mouths were never, ever meant to be the main event for breathing. They're a backup system, and a pretty bad one at that. Your nose is this incredible, highly sophisticated piece of biological engineering. It warms the air, it humidifies it, and it filters it, protecting us from all kinds of germs and pollutants. The mouth, on the other hand, it's basically just an open hole. So when they rely on it to breathe, we're bypassing all of our body's amazing built-in defenses. But you know what? There's an even more critical reason to breathe through your nose. And it's a big one. Breathing through your nose produces 6 times more of a crucial gas called nitric oxide than mouth breathing does. 6 times. And nitric oxide, let me tell you, is an absolute superstar molecule. It's one of our body's first lines of defense against viruses and bacteria. It also relaxes our blood vessels, which improves circulation all over your body. And hey, here's a fun little tip for you. Just humming to yourself can temporarily boost your nitric oxide production by up to 20 times. It's a fantastic little hack to clear your sinuses and give your immune system a quick boost. Okay, this next part is going to sound completely backward. I mean, we're always told take a big deep breath when we're stressed or need to calm down. But the real science shows that breathing too much can actually starve your body of oxygen. Wild, right? It's a scientific principle called the Bohr effect. And it explains this paradox perfectly. It's the reason why the key to better health isn't about breathing more, it's about breathing smarter, and actually breathing less. So here's how it works. When you breathe too quickly, like when you're panicking, you exhale way too much carbon dioxide, or CO2. Now, CO2 isn't just a waste gas. It's the critical trigger that tells your red blood cells to release the oxygen they're carrying. So without enough CO2, your blood cells hold on to that oxygen way too tightly. You know that lightheaded, dizzy feeling you get from breathing too fast? That's your brain literally being deprived of oxygen. So the real goal, the ideal breathing pattern, is slow,
it's light, and it's always through the nose. This keeps that perfect balance of oxygen and CO2, which makes sure that all the wonderful oxygen you're breathing in actually gets delivered to where it's needed most: your cells, your muscles, and especially your brain.
All right, so we've seen how vital that CO2 balance is inside our bodies, but what about the CO2 in the air around us? Well, it turns out our modern, sealed up, energy efficient homes and offices have created their own kind of invisible threat. So, fresh outdoor air has a CO2 concentration of about 400 parts per million. Sounds good. But in a typical sealed office building, that number can climb all the way to 1,500. And in a closed bedroom overnight with the door shut, it can soar past 2,000 parts per million. We are literally marinating in our own exhaled waste gas. And this isn't just, unpleasant. It directly impacts our ability to think clearly. Studies show that at 1,500 parts per million of CO2, our cognitive function can plummet by up to 50%. So that afternoon brain fog you feel at work, that sluggishness you can't seem to shake, it might not be you. It might just be the air you're breathing.
Okay, so modern life has kind of messed with our bodies and our environment, and it's promoted really poor breathing. So what's the good news? The good news is we can absolutely fight back, and we can do it with some very, very simple techniques. The first things first, let's just build some awareness. You can try this right now. Place your hands on your waist right above your hips. As you inhale slowly through your nose, you should feel your waist expand outward. That's your diaphragm working. Now put your hands on your chest and feel your ribs expand. And finally, just gently touch your throat to make sure those neck muscles are staying nice and relaxed. That's it. That's the blueprint for a full, efficient breath. But what about when you're asleep? There's a simple but really powerful technique called mouth taping. Now, before you panic, it's not about sealing your mouth shut. You just use a small piece of gentle, porous tape vertically over your lips. All it does is act as a gentle reminder for your jaw to stay closed, encouraging that all-important nasal breathing while you sleep. And finally, let's just build these good habits into your day. Sit and stand with good posture. It literally frees up your diaphragm to do its job. Make a conscious effort to breathe through your nose during workouts. And if you're feeling stressed, try this. 2 quick, sharp inhales through the nose, followed by 1 long, slow exhale through the mouth. It's an instant calm down button for your nervous system. And for goodness sakes, please crack a window once in a while. Get that stale CO2 out and some fresh oxygen in. It's pretty amazing when you think about it, isn't it? We look for these complex solutions for our health, supplements, apps, all kinds of biohacks. But one of the most powerful levers we have is right under our noses, and it is completely free. It just makes you wonder, what other simple, fundamental truths about our own bodies have we completely forgotten?